This is the start of Highway 30 going back to Malone, if I remember right. Yes. This is a beautiful section of road to the right here. A lot of good twisties around the lake, Upper Lake. Love the way people turn left in front of you. I guess should have expected that. A lot of bicycles. Right, we'll shut off again, pick it up a little later on. Just left Saranac Lake. Heading our way to the Finger Lakes in Geneva, New York, between Syracuse and Rochester. I got Greg and Marcel behind me here. Hopefully you can see them in the mirror. Other than that, the road is pretty nice. We'll see how the clips go. It was a nice cool 18 degrees Celsius this morning. And here we are at 11 o'clock. We're about an hour behind, but there's no rush. Mountains to the left. It's 27 degrees Celsius already at 11 a.m. So we'll see how all this goes, but so far it's pretty good. What we'll do is take some clips. We got to do a gas stop for Marcel. So the weather they're calling for is hot and sunny for the next 3-4 days, no problem. No rain in sight, which is good. Speed limit is 90k, so that's what I'm doing. Not sure how many kilometers. I think it's about a 2,000 kilometer trip, ballpark. Not 100% sure, but it doesn't matter. Absolutely beautiful scenery and a beautiful day for riding. What more can you ask? Riding in the Adirondacks is always pleasurable. A lot of bikers out today. Right, okay, we'll see how this goes. I'll come back on a little later on, save some battery. I only got about 2 hours, hour and a half of battery, so I don't want to run it up the whole leg of the route. According to this, we will be there at 20 to 4, not counting the gas stop or lunch. Although we just had an amazing breakfast at the Blue Moon Cafe in Saranac Lake. Delicious. And I'm good to go, so I probably just have a snack for lunch, nothing heavy. Especially as the day gets hotter, probably mostly water. So I'll come back on a little later on once the scenery picks up again. Stop. Here we are at our red stop. Marcel needed some gas. Here's the big guy. He's our goon control here. And there's Greg. Greg gassed up too. Here we are, some beautiful scenery. We got some commentary now because I had the speaker and mic cables plugged in backwards, so I don't know if it recorded, but here we are. We had left Saranac Lake and we're on our way to Geneva, New York, to the Finger Lakes. Absolutely gorgeous day. Almost 28 degrees Celsius. Roads are perfect. Marcel and Greg are here and behind. Spectacular views. Tupper Lake. This is Tupper Lake, New York. Wow, look at that. Mail being delivered on a Saturday in the U.S. You don't see that in Canada. So it's putting us at our arrival time at 3:15, less a lunch stop, so probably around 4 o'clock we should be there. They weren't supposed to be calling for rain, but these cumulus clouds are forming. You never know what might happen at the end of the day. We've opened her up here. We got finally clear sailing ahead. Nice paved road. We're in Durant, or Duran, New York. I guess it's because we're in the mountains. Basically, we're in forest. The boys are behind. It's easy to turn on and off once you set up your video through the app to make sure you're not crooked or tilted. After that, just a pull of the on and off switch in the front of the lens, and with the speaker lets you know when the camera is on and off and recording, so it makes things so convenient, whereas the GoPro Season 4 has none of that feedback, so you turn it on and you hope for the best. So this seems to be an amazing camera, so anybody thinking about buying it, buy it. Doesn't have a lot of battery power, unfortunately, and it's not changeable, but for what I'm going to use it for, it's perfect. A lot of people kayak and boat. There's so many lakes. It's incredible. Upper New York State. Well, the traffic's let up. There was I forget the name of the town. Inlet. Seems to be a very touristy town. Lots and lots of people parked. And since we've left the town, there's nobody on this side of the highway. Everybody is going into that town, so that seems to be the tourist area. So it's a good thing for that. Traffic is light so far. Day hasn't changed. We're still steady at 27 Celsius. Scenery is still spectacular. I'm on Egypt Road 28 West. Problem is since I'm on the K1600, my wrist tends to get a little too quick for the boys. As you can see, they're way in behind. I keep having to look down at the speedometer and choke myself back down to 90k, which is 55 miles an hour. Otherwise, I'm running 100, 110. So I tend to pull away from the guys quickly. It's just the roads. The roads are twisty and nice, and I just want to like throttle her. Oh, look at that. This is maybe why it's a 90k when you have guys that zip out right in front. Blind entrances. So an update to the arrival time is 3:20. We haven't stopped since we were at the Blue Lagoon Cafe in Saranac Lake. So we've been riding almost 2 hours now, non-stop. Gonna probably take a little break eventually up here. Maybe here in the town of Webb. Or Old Forge. Welcome to Old Forge. I think we'll give it a stop here, stretch our legs a bit. It's been 2 hours. So we'll touch base once we get back on the road again, and there's some sites that are worthwhile recording. Hopefully there's a little rest stop store here in town. And looks like it. We'll see. Maybe not. I don't know. It doesn't look like much of a town here according to them. Ah, here we are. Old Forge, New York. Look at that, we got a water safari park here. Amazing, a hot day like today and nobody's there. Absolutely crazy. There's cars, nobody's on that ride unless it's closed. Well, everybody's up on those slides. I guess you gotta worry about people zipping across in front of you here so you don't get killed at the intersections. I don't want to get off on the left side of the road. I'd prefer to be on the right side to get off. Doesn't seem to be anything here on the right. Little stop, little pizza break, a water break, beautiful windy roads. We'll see if we can get Greg and Marcel up here. Kind of hard to get guys side by side to get a camera shot when you got twisty roads. Hopefully she's straightened out here a little bit so I can get these guys up and get them on the cam. This looks like a good spot. There's Greg. There goes Marcel. Get some shots of the guys in the front. Try and get a few of the guys' shots. Got Greg on cam. Marcel didn't slow down. I'll try and get up beside him, get him a little shot later, but at least got him on cam. Wow, we're doing 120. That's pretty good. It's always good to have guys at different speeds. Temperatures now climbed to almost 30 degrees Celsius, which is probably 92 degrees Fahrenheit, something to that fact. .45 is, I don't know, I'm not quite sure. I think it's like 80 or something like that. Overall, it's been just an amazing route, this 28 West, or Egypt Road as it's called. Beautifully paved, nice curves, spectacular views of lakes, cottages, scenery. I can see why it's so popular up here with tourists and people alike, because absolutely gorgeous country. Today we've seen many wild turkeys in the morning, one deer, a squashed fox. Not so much for the wildlife that we've seen, but it's absolutely just spectacular. Cannot believe the amount of people up here. We passed a couple of the tourist towns, and it seems that we're in the opposite direction of all the tourists, which is nice. So the road is pretty much clear. Some beautiful green lakes, nice houses. Look at this, absolutely gorgeous. Tamarack Road. So this has been our scenery. I mean, I haven't been on and off, but still, this is what it's been pretty much like. Just spectacular roads. Wind's picking up, that's for sure. I guess we're getting closer to the entrance point of Lake Ontario. Get Marcel on cam. There he is, wave high. There's Greg again, waving high. I think he's camera shy. Well, we just come back from grocery shopping this evening, and this is Geneva, New York, which is the city our home is on. Absolutely gorgeous area, a lot of rich homes. Properties are fantastic. Some of the houses here are absolutely gorgeous. We're a little further down where the lake comes to the road. It's a nice house. It's well kept. Bed right on the lake. Walk downstairs and you're in the lake. There's a lot of wineries locally around here. There's 4 of them within walking distance from where we are. The owner and host of our house left us 2 nice bottles in the fridge on our arrival, on the house, complimentary. A rosé and a white. We had the white when we arrived. It was a sweet white, but it was absolutely delicious, local brand. And then we're going to come up to this crest, and you're going to have some beautiful homes up on the right on the hill here. I'm pretty sure they're upwards of $1 million. There's our lake, our views, some of the homes here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. There we go, up on the hill. Lovely homes. We're sort of off the beaten track ourselves. It's a small cut-off road, and then you go over some train tracks right by the housing. Must be an older section where there used to be cottages at one point. According to the host, most of them are being rented out for the summer. And not far from where we are, there's a boat rental. This seems to be a popular cafe, Ports Cafe. It looks very, very packed. We'll have to try some of these restaurants while we're here. Must be very, very seasonal on the lake. It's 6:30 at night and the temperature is still 29 Celsius pretty much. Although we do have a little coolness off the lake. I don't know if it's a difference, but we're coming to our turnoff. See, there's two vineyards this way. And here's our White Pines exit. You shall see it's a small little dirt road. Little gravel. Here's our house over to the right with the boats, and then we got this rockety old train track to come through. Kind of bumpy, but what are you gonna do? And here's our place for the next 4 nights. Home sweet home. We'll get back to you guys later on. Actually, before we do that, do a little tour here of the backyard. So there's a house below us, but this is our backyard, our gazebo. We're going to have a barbecue. We've got some steaks. And then we have the stairs that go down to our dock here. We can go for a swim later on. Overall, it is really, really nice here. Absolutely spectacular. Right, okay, so this is day 2 here at Geneva, New York on Seneca Lake. We're heading south down the lake just to explore, see where it takes us. There's no set plan. Just want to see what's what. Find some sights. They're calling for thunderstorms this afternoon, or chance of 50%. There's some Seneca Lake. Very nice. Very humid. 28 degrees and very humid again today. Overall, the house is a nice house. Very, very comfy. It's an older cottage, but for the necessities and accoutrements we need, it's perfect. 2 bathrooms, 2 showers. Sleeps 10 if you're couples, but we'll sleep 5 individual guys with 5 individual bedrooms. Well, 4 bedrooms and a hide-a-bed sofa. So we're okay with 3, with Simon and Greg Hodge canceling out because of issues.
The lake is 39 miles long. So if we're going to go right around it, you're looking at 80 miles, which is like I think 140 kilometers, somewhere around there. We'll see what we could do. We're just going to ride, find a place, and then go from there. Very nice lake property. I'm going to find out later on. There's a few houses I saw here for sale. I'm going to look that up on the internet. I'm just curious to see what they go for. Amish quilts. No hydro going to that home. Same here. Oh, this one's got hydro. There's a lot of contrast in the housing between large luxurious homes and old style colonial style homes, and then, you know, run-of-the-mill houses. Lots and lots of wineries here. I mean, they're all over the place. Vineyards. Right, so we're about halfway down the lake. Some great views down through the mountain range or the hills. Basically, it's only been about 20 minutes since I last had the camera on, and we must have passed about 50 wineries. Almost every kilometer there's a winery on both sides of the roads, and it is just incredible the amount of wineries there are here. And this is only on one small side of the lake. These wineries go all the way down. Okay, looks like a fair-sized town according to the GPS here. Looks like a very old town. Oh, I see you get the boat tours here. And there is lineups and buses and tourists. Looks like a very old town with brand new roads. God, I wish our Quebec roads were like this. A lot of architect here. The House of Hong. I guess it's a Chinese restaurant. It's too bad you don't have smell-o-video, because all the restaurants cooking here, it is absolutely nose-boggling, the different odors. An old British phone booth. Wow, pretty cool. Well, you know what? I think it'd be nice to get a videotaping of the town, but with this traffic, I think I'm just going to burn battery on the cam for no reason unless we start to move here. I think they're trying to find somewhere to pull over to park. I guess this is what we're up to. Well, we just left Wilkins for lunch on the other side of Lake Seneca over there. And now we're making our northern trek up the road back north. Along the lake road. It's a shame all these trees are in the way, obstructing this great view you would have had of the lake. But overall, it's a nice road. See if I can turn down a little wind noise, hopefully. So this is one of 4 Finger Lakes. There's 2 of us to the east and 1 smaller one to the west. I know we're all environmental and everything, but it'd be nice if they cut a lot of these trees down out of the way. Must be a good view in the fall time when the leaves have fallen. But so far this road through Wilkins, it's all fresh paved asphalt. A joy to ride on. Hector Falls. There we go. We're going to be moving in a little inland here, so there won't be much of the lake to see as we veer right. Be our last shot for a while. So if you're into wine, this would be the place to visit for a summer holiday, because you could spend a few days, if not a week, doing wine testing and tasting through all the different distilleries available here. We think it's because the way the glaciers receded left all kinds of exposed minerals. There's another one, which is great for growing grapes. Another winery, another winery. So there's 3 within a half a kilometer. Now we're kind of inland, so I'm not going to see much of the lake. Another wine out, cold storage. They were calling for 50% chance of thunderstorms, but never materialized, so lucky. That is because I'm wearing my full gear and it's kept the voodoo away, so I think we'd be alright. Another vineyard. There's some nice views. You can't go 100 meters without a vineyard and a winery around this lake. There are a few microbreweries if you're into beer. There was a few on our side. I haven't seen any here on this side yet. So basically, it's just a straight road on the north side. So we'll cut off and we'll leave you at that. There's another good shot of the lake. It's hard to get good shots. You just don't know when. There we are. Keep an eye on traffic where I'm driving on a curve to try and get. There's a good shot of the lake. Now where are we doing fun? Apparently we're pulling in here for some reason. I guess we're stopping at a winery. One of many. Interesting. So this is Monday, and we just left Geneva Harley-Davidson. Marcel was having a little intermittent trouble with his clutch lever switch, so it wouldn't start the bike unless it was absolutely in neutral. And they recommend taking the 14A South. So this is what we're currently on here, is the 14A South. Heading down to another lake. Oh, we got some curves. Nice, nice. Nice, 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 nice. Yeah. Beautiful. Finally some windy roads. Finally some windy roads, as they say, a little trail braking on the brakes, and then you accelerate out. I'll have to wait up for the boys. I guess I should wait up for them now. So yes, they recommend taking the 14A down to, I forget the name of the lake, to the west of Seneca. But at the far end of the lake, there is a motorcycle aviation museum. They recommended for us to go see, so that's where we're headed. Nice little day trip. See some sights and scenery. And hopefully the weather holds. They're calling for thunderstorms around 2 p.m. this afternoon. It is now midday. So hopefully they hold off. Yesterday we had a little band, but we were lucky. We were sitting down at a winery while the storm passed in front of us, and by the time we went through it, it had gone and only the roads were wet, so we lucked out there. It was quite nice. As we see coming into the town of Hall. Nice style old colonial homes. Very nice. I guess we're going to be stuck behind a truck. He's turning 14A to the left. Here's a real old garage. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. Nice lowrider, hot rod custom. So this looks like a pretty flat road, so what I'll do is I'll come back on a little later when we got a little more zippity-doo in the scenery, and we'll go from there. So we're in the Penn Yan area, and we're just in Hammond, the top of the lake of one of the Seneca Lake areas, heading to the bottom of the lake. And as I mentioned before, to the museum. The lady said there were some twisties. And basically what I recorded there, those three corners were the twisties. Unless there's some twisties here, but I'm looking at my GPS and I don't see many twisties, but it's another gorgeous 29, 30 degree day here in Upper New York. Camp Corey. It's a Monday, so people are back to work. A little extra traffic on the roads. There should be. And here we go, the start of vineyards again. We bought the local wine yesterday and it was really good at supper with our sausage on the barbecue. So I don't think you can go wrong with any of the wineries, local wineries along all these lakes. There's so many of them to choose one, so you can't go wrong, like I said, with a choice of wine. And the pricing is pretty reasonable. Some great looking homes here along the lake. Wonder what these things go for. I brought my Hero Season 4, Session 4, but I haven't plugged it in yet because I prefer the Seneca. I have more control of what I want to do with it. Whereas the mount I have for that cam is fixed on my fairing, so you're only going to see the road, whereas here I could turn and look at lake views and traffic or whatever you'd like to look at. Plus I'm able to comment with the microphone, something I can't do with that unless I buy all kinds of adapters and equipment. I mentioned that on a previous video, so I definitely prefer the Sena Prism Tube Wi-Fi cam. It's always a challenge trying to film to the right and keep my left eyeball somewhat on the road. But hopefully the video turns out well and you get an idea of what some of the scenery and vineyards are like here. I think, like I mentioned yesterday, unfortunately, a lot of the lakeshore is just clustered with trees, so you don't have a great view of the lakes. The fall definitely would be better for sightseeing, for sure. Less obtuse. So this is the most western lake of the 4 lakes. And for the life of me, I can't remember the name. There's also the shortest in length of all the 4 lakes. Wow, this would be a good place to like open her up, a straight drag strip almost here. But I'm with the Harley boys. If I do that, I'd have to wait probably 10 minutes for them to cut them up, and not you know, risk getting a speed ticket as well. I think I might have mentioned this before. It's 30 degrees Celsius, which is probably around 92 Fahrenheit, and humid. On the way back, we're going to take the road on the other side. So once again, I'll sign off and put the cam back on when I think there's some of real interest showing up, and we'll go from there. Well, we're not too far from coming into the end of the lake town. Speed limits are reducing here. Here we are at the end of the lake. We're going to find a place. Champlain Bridge. Beautiful old place, falling apart, but beautiful. There's a big house being built. This way, this way. This way. Well, I guess the next thing to do would be to find but it's not a school zone, unless there's school. I don't think so. Hammond Sport Village. So I'm not sure what to do here. I'll have to consult with the guys. See what they want to do, but basically the 54A is up ahead and we swing around and head back up the other side of the lake. So we'll see what we're going to do. Well, we just left the museum, the Curtis Museum. I have a bunch of pictures will be uploaded on Facebook. And we're here on the 54A heading north back to the cottage. So we're doing the other shot of the lake. Temperature is at 32 Celsius, which Greg confirmed is 92 Fahrenheit, plus the humidity, so we must be close to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, or 40-ish. The other side of the the other side of the lake, the speed limit was 55. This side is 35. So I'm not sure why there's a difference. The roads are both the same. But there's a red Mini Cooper up ahead that we were behind, and he's pulling away, so obviously he's doing faster than the speed limit along I'm going faster than the speed limit, but it is what it is. This side we're in the shade, at least behind the mountain, so it's a little nicer for the moment. I like the other side. It had fresh asphalt. With this hot weather and all these tar snakes and the cracks every time the tires hit them, they get a little squiggly. It's no big deal, but I just hate them anyways. Today would definitely be a boating day. With the temperatures, you'd want to be on the water instead of on a motorcycle on the hot asphalt, that's for sure. I guess there's more housing on this side, so we're getting better views. There's more trees cut down. On a positive note, I'm assuming. I think I understand what the 54A is opposed to the 54. 54A is, I guess, for auxiliary. That would be a nice Sea-Doos instead of motorcycles. Definitely would be a worthwhile adventure today. Actually, this is nicer shots we got here. Oh. An abandoned factory. Starting to understand the woman from Harley when she said the windy roads. This is the side with the windy roads, the other side is straight, fast roads. What a day to be roofing, oh my gosh. Oh, look at this. This would be nice if you could be doing about 120K on that road. No houses or cars to worry about pulling in and out, but apparently you cannot do that because you're going to probably hit somebody. Well, it's definitely a beautiful afternoon for a ride. Well, I'm sure the road's going to be pretty. We're coming up to the top of the lake. So I will be signing off until the next clip. Once we hit the 54A, we'll be back on to the 14A, headed back into Geneva. And then from there, we'll be heading home. So, the views are absolutely spectacular here. And the scenery is incredible. Well worth visit to this area. So enjoy. Well, here we are Wednesday, we're leaving. Marcel, Greg, here's our house. 4 days, very nice. Heading our way now to Gettysburg. Last view of the lake. Very peaceful. Calling for thunderstorms this afternoon, so we're hitting the road here early this morning. Should be there around noon in Gettysburg. Hopefully we'll miss the thunderstorms. And I'll be back on later on the road. Well, we're on the road. Lake Seneca, 7:30. It's very humid, so you can see it's a little misty here this morning on this nice day. But it's absolutely refreshing for a change at 21 degrees Celsius as opposed to the usual 32 and humid. They're calling for heavy thunderstorms, 80% chance in the Gettysburg area after 1 o'clock. So we're hoping, the way the GPS is saying, we'll be there by 12. So we're hoping to miss most of the thunderstorm. We hope. But so far, the rain we have had, heavy downpours. We were at a winery, and it always passed to the side or to the north of us, and we missed it once we left. The roads were wet, but we didn't get rained on, so we were very fortunate like that. So we're hoping for the same thing, no rain. It's always good on a motorcycle trip that you don't have rain. But if it happens, it is what it is. You're prepared. And you deal with it. Simple as that. So I'll come back and start recording a little later on once our scenery. We've recorded this on one of our trips earlier down through Seneca Lake to Wilkins. And later on, once we're more into Pennsylvania, I'll start re-recording. Well, we just left Watkins Glen and we're on the 414 heading south, heading into the hills, and the weather is a little foggy. Could be cloud. Thing is, at this time of the morning in this area, you gotta watch for a lot of deer. They could be bouncing out. I usually have my hand ready on the brake lever here. I'm not sure why it's telling me the I-86 Route 415. I don't remember planning any interstate on this trip, so I'm not quite sure. I really hope we're not on an interstate. 414 south. Okay. Beautiful countryside. Always do like New York, Pennsylvania. Then there's a little bit of slack, like the Maryland area gets a little flat until you hit the mountains in Virginia, Tennessee. But this is actually a beautiful countryside here as well. Definitely almost like the Smoky Mountains. This is how it is there in the morning. all this video I'm recording is with the Sena Prism Tube Wi-Fi cam. Bought this just a week or two before my trip. Tested it out on a ride up in the Laurentians on the 329. It worked out very well. And so far what I've seen on video clips saved on the micro SD card is very nice. So once again, I guess what we'll do is that's a nice KOA campground. Wow. It's not like the KOA campgrounds I used to hang out around in. So to save battery power, since it's a short duration battery, about 2 hours, we'll come back on when there's some exciting things to maybe show you guys. That's a big RV. Well, here we are. We're on the 99 South going to Gettysburg. Some of the cool mountain shots, fog. Figure I'd grab this before the sun burns it all off. We've got to do at least 110 clicks on Interstate 99. Then I'm going to get off and take the US 15 back roads. I remember when I was planning this route, apart from using the interstate, there isn't really a side direct route. It's more like a zigzag. And that would take far too long in the day to get us there. So unfortunately we got to do a stretch of interstate, and then we're going to get back off and enjoy some of the side roads into Gettysburg. But not to say without that some of the views here are absolutely amazing on the interstate. We're still holding at 21 or 69 Fahrenheit, which makes for a nice ride. Look at this. Highways winding around the valley. Basically, speed limit is 65 miles an hour or 105 kph, and I basically set it to 115 kph, which is pretty much consistent with what the traffic is doing, so we're good with that. It wasn't like the I-90 through Syracuse, Rochester, where it was jam-packed. 34 degrees Celsius in and out of traffic, so yeah, this is far, far better. Elkland. A lot of the lakes are named after Indian names in this region, like Lake Seneca, Lake Canugulagla. There's a nice shot. Can't go wrong with that. Speed limit's actually, sorry, 70. Okay. So we just went up to 70 miles an hour. Maybe something Quebec should learn. Our highways are posted way too slow at 100 kph. They all should be 120 kph, our highways. It's a highway. It's like an Autobahn. Unlimited speed. The right lane is for driving. The left lane is for passing. You step on it, pass, and pull back in. Not like Ontarian drivers that one guy's doing 100 kph in the right lane and another guy's passing at 101, so it takes like 25 minutes for the dimbat to pass. Yeah, I'm about to get passed by a truck. We won't pull in behind that guy quite yet. It's dripping from that container, so who knows what's in it. I don't feel like getting all smelly. More nice shots. Road cut out of the hills of the high. Nice shots of the valley. A nice run. It's easier for the trucks downhill to pick it up, but once we level out, I'll pass this guy easily. Anyway, I got the cruise set, so that's no big deal. Well, we've got some great views here. Spectacular scenery. Well, it hasn't been very long since I shut the camera off, but I had to put it back on for this view here. Is just stupendous. here in the mountains. It's too bad I don't have unlimited power on the battery here, because I do have it on the memory, but this is absolutely brilliant. Look at this. Absolutely brilliant up here. Well, we're in a corner, so I can't look sideways, unfortunately, so it is what it is. We're definitely coming towards Pennsylvania, because I remember this is how it is. There's just so much nice views, lakes, mountains. Very comparable to Laurentians, northern Quebec. So, like I mentioned, if I keep going, I'll have no cam left. So I'm going to be going offline again. Well, we are on the US 22, headed towards Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I tried to get the camera on quick to record. We just passed an Amish person in his horse and buggy here on the side of the road. We're back into the mountains again, off some main highways. Actually, sorry, we're on the US 11 going to the US 22, my mistake, to Harrisburg. I mean, the views have been just great. Once again, always in Pennsylvania. It's always a pleasure to drive here in Pennsylvania. Made a couple of stops, gas stop, then a little snack stop, some nuts and some water, just you know, something light with protein, keep us going, no problem. Stretch the legs, gas fill up like I was mentioning. Not sure what river this is, but it looks pretty good. Once we hit Harrisburg, we'll probably be a lot more in Amish country. We'll probably see more people. You can always tell a house that is Amish. There's no power lines running from the street pole to the home, like this one. That's a new sign I've seen on this road. Beware of aggressive drivers. So apparently there's some aggressive people. Got horse poop on the side of the road here because that's where the Amish run. Their buggies on this side on the shoulder here. You can see a dark trail to the far right where it's well worn. bad you don't have smell-o-vision, because I just got an amazing whiff of sheep manure or pig manure, one or the other. Looks like a trooper. Wasn't going that fast. Well, the limit's 90, and I guess I was doing 110, so yeah, I guess that's a little fast. Well, we'll bring her down to 100. 60 miles an hour, 55, 60, that's close enough. So I'll sign off now, and once we hit some more mountains, I'll come back on. Well, here we are. We're coming into Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We're going to be exiting in about 2 kilometers, so I'm not sure how much of the city we're going to get to see, but it is what it is. I am not sure. I always hate coming into big cities. There's so much traffic and so many turns. Hoping we get to the hotel in the next little bit before the weather hits. It's 12:20. It says we'll be there in 40 minutes. Hopefully that's the real thing. Otherwise, we are in trouble. Rub Greg. Well, at the next intersection, we're going to be turning 700 meters. Not sure exactly where the hell that is, but we shall see. Expo Hall. Oh, it's an arena. We're at the river, Harrisburg, paddle boat. I believe this is the Mississippi. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure this is the Mississippi. And I believe we're going over the bridge here. Yes. Well, the limit is 56k. I'm doing 60, and even the police are going faster than the speed limit, so I don't feel so bad when I do speed. Beautiful park. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. guess one of the first motorcyclists I've seen in a long time. There wasn't very many people on the highway. Then again, it is a weekday, but you figured you'd be a few more guys. There's a better view without having to see the guardrails. Well, that's it. I believe we've left Harrisburg. I'm not 100% sure. On our way to Gettysburg. Another 900 meters. $50 miles an hour there, and then they have a sign 35. So we're going to Gettysburg. Raining just a tad, unfortunately. Very light though, no big deal. Roads are barely wet. So in a couple of kilometers we'll be at the hotel. It's 1:10. Check-in is at 3. Maybe they have a couple of rooms ready for us early, so we'll be okay. And get in, otherwise we got time to kill. And it is what it is, I guess. No big deal. We're here, Gettysburg. Battlefield is up there someplace. We'll probably see that later tomorrow. But apart from that, everything's good. Basically, it's any other typical town. Gettysburg, Burger Kings, Walmarts, Wendy's. At least we have all the convenience of home. Plan for suppers. Marcel wants to have some Italian. We've been eating meat for the last 4 nights. Pork, steak, sausage. So he's looking for a bit of pasta. Well, I'm actually very happy that the rain held off. So we didn't get drenched, because they were calling for this time 1 o'clock severe thunderstorms. Clouds are gray, but so far we have lucked out with just sprinkles. There we go, construction. at the roundabout. Take the third exit, my GPS is telling me. I don't see any roundabout on my GPS. I see a Y intersection, unless that's further up. Last time I was here was 5 years ago when Mike, Marcel, and Russ. So we did a tour bus through town. I didn't really come into town, so it's really hard to say what was going on. The third exit to Baltimore Street, which is going to be basically to the left. I think I remember this area. The Gettysburg Hotel. Seems there's a lot of asphalt work in a lot of the towns here in the US, like completely redone and new. So, not bad. Too bad Quebec doesn't have money to do that for all our streets. Our roads are crap. Old man's just wandering across the street. He's gonna get run down one day. Chopper. Nice little town. Very historic, very old buildings. Am I supposed to turn here? Yes. Very nice little town. Here's some historical stuff here. Well, we'll be there in 600 meters. Notice Greg never pulls up beside me, he always stays with Marcel. Or if he does, it's like rare. Well, Pennsylvania do not need helmet laws. Well, here we are leaving the Quality Inns in Gettysburg on our way back home. And
You're gonna stop and get fuel, right?
you want to do it right away? Okay.
For gas, right?
So we're going to stop for gas apparently, and then make our way up through Scranton, Pennsylvania into New York. So yeah, we're leaving quaint little town, Gettysburg. Quality Inn was a perfect location. We were walking distance to all the park and whatnot. There was an Exxon further up. We'll stop there. Okay. So yeah, very good. This is Battlefield Cemetery here we're looking at here. Walking distance was a 10-minute walk to the visitor center. From where we were, so it was absolutely perfect. We were at a restaurant 4 years ago over there where they had serving wenches, they were supposed to be called. A waitress, but they were using a medieval theme, so you had to, use that. Expression. This town has got 7,000 people population. It's a college town too, so there's less students here. In about 3 weeks they should start picking up, and it'll jump from 7,000 to 11,000, I believe somebody told us. According to our kitchen staff, we're in a lull. We had just missed the July 4th rush. And we're going to beat the August rush so it was a perfect timing to be here. Perfect timing. And they're calling for heavy rain here in the area later on this morning, so we're glad to be getting out of here at 7:30 to beat the weather. And as we go further north, we're going to have less and less issues with weather. It clears out for the next 2 days for their trip home, so that will be perfect. We have a cattle ranch right in the middle of town. Well, that's how it is. There's the old core and then there's the new sections. And there's a lot of debate here. To the way the town's being built up and infringing on the historic battlefield areas. There are some government areas and there's private areas, and the city owns some areas, so they're really trying to preserve a lot of it. but with modern times and whatnot, you can't help stop expansion. So we're going to stop here and get some gas, and then we're going to start making our way back home. So I'll plug you back in when there's some more stuff to see. Well, we gassed up at an Exxon in Gettysburg, and we're on the US 15 north, headed towards Pennsylvania 581 east. It's a nice morning. (21 Celsius, it's about 69 Fahrenheit. A little bit of humidity, just rain had through, but that's not no issues. We're headed north. As you can see, it's clear skies. We're getting out of the weather behind us. More than likely we'll miss this cloud cell forming behind us and just have sunny, warm weather again on our way home to Montreal. Our next stop is Amsterdam, New York, about 8 hours from now. 540 clicks from our current destination for the day, but with stops and back roads, should take you the better part of the day. Get in there around 4:30 this afternoon. Look at that, East Berlin. I thought that collapsed. Joke. Yesterday we did our tour bus, and unfortunately, towards the end, the skies let up, so we didn't get out to see a lot of the exhibits. I did it 5 years ago, so there was no, lackluster on my part. Unfortunately, Greg had never seen it, didn't give him a chance to check it out a lot. But overall, it was another great tour. It was good to hear a different perspective from a different tour guide compared to the first tour guide. But it was a pleasant trip to Gettysburg once again. Always enjoyable. So I'll sign off and I'll come back on a little later on. Well, we're on the I-80 North. I had to put the camera on here to get this shot of the mist coming down between the two mountains in the valley here. It's absolutely stupendous view. It's just sort of hanging on the top of the hill. Spectacular. Pretty much interstate what we've been doing here. We got so far. I don't know if I'm cutting off or forget how I planned the route, but this is just incredible the way it's just clinging to the top like cotton candy stuck to the top. Spectacular. And the wind is picked up a little bit here too. I guess because we're in the valley. Really, really cool. And then just like that, we're in it. Pretty neat the way it's clinging here in the valley. It's almost like a heavy fog. Very neat. So yeah, maybe some of this video might be boring for you, but for me, it's interesting little sites to pick up on, as opposed to regular just flat interstate. So I was trying to capture a little bits and pieces as we go along. I know it's not the German Autobahn or something to that effect, but still, it's not too bad. It's pretty good. Catch some mist. It's 10 to 9 in the morning. Put on 110 clicks since our fill up in Gettysburg. This cloud just dropped the temperature from 26 Celsius to 22 Celsius. And I think as we head further north, the temperature drops, because in Amsterdam this morning it was only 14. So overall, it's not too bad. It's a little misty. I could see it fogging up on my visor. This is the first vehicle I've passed in a long time. I've set the speedometer at 110, and most of the traffic has been passing us. So not been too bad. Traffic's been moving pretty good. There was a little slowdown a ways back where they were merging between two interstates, but apart from that, we've been rolling relatively trouble-free. Another shot of this valley here. Pretty good. And I guess as the sun comes off, it's going to burn this fog off and we'll have clear sailing. So this is the speed I like, because we're slightly quicker than slower traffic, but slower than the majority of the guys want to run here, so it leaves us a nice buffer between vehicles, and don't stress, which is perfect. Not like the I-90 coming into Syracuse on our first day. It was a very hot day and there was a lot of traffic coming to and fro, so yeah, especially at the end of the day, we made it for a little stressing, but we got to our house and we enjoyed our lake. Really, a 24-mile delay at, well, I guess we're going to be hitting that delay because I got 86 kilometers to go. That's definitely more than 24 miles, so I guess we're going to be stuck in this traffic, which sucks. But what are you going to do? If there's a rest stop, we've been on the road an hour and a half almost. Probably pull off in half an hour. Take a break, stretch the legs, go to the bathroom. I was going to change my coat to my mesh jacket, but since the temperature dropped, this is perfect, comfortable weather to ride with my Ruka jacket on. So, absolutely good highways, smooth. The majority of them are cement highways. Obviously, for all the truckload, if this was asphalt, they'd be destroyed. So this is something Quebec should be thinking about. They did it back in the 70s But the problem is the salt they pour on just destroyed the cement or concrete. What you really need to do is put a concrete base and then a light asphalt coat, and as the asphalt coat gets destroyed, you strip it and put another one on, and you always have a super base underneath the road. So I don't know if you can catch my mirrors. There's not much traffic behind us. We got the two bikes behind us. So it's very light traffic. Well, we're off the turnpikes and interstates, and we're on Sherwood Drive, still in Pennsylvania, heading towards New York. Just gassed up, full tank. Should be in Amsterdam by 3:30. So we're on some nice back roads. I think the rest of the road is like this now, which is nice. It's always nice to get off the interstate and get into some nice quiet back roads, twisties. Definitely slower paced and more relaxed. You don't have to worry about semi trucks whipping by you constantly. Some really nice scenery here. There we go. Twisties. Finally some twisties. Well, pretty good twisties. Better than just flat asphalt, that's for sure. Road work ahead. Definitely like this. Ooh. This here is a gravel road. Very slip. Bike is just running everywhere here. Nothing we could do. Hopefully this doesn't last long. Not only am I eating the dust from the vehicle in front of me, she's a little skittish. Definitely no front brakes on this baby. Just stay in the ruts and you'll be fine. Don't go into the center, you'll be screwed. Seems to me that this goes on for a while. You could see up the other hill where the road is. definitely want to use your brake for this. Well, we're on North Road here. Get some shots of the mountain ranges in the background. It's a little pass-through road, I guess. It says it's a 55-mile-an-hour road. I says, yeah, if you know it. Zippity-zoo all over the place here, up and down. Very nice road. More some small roads. It's a short run on a 5K. And then we do another turn, but I figure we grab the video on this. It's a windy little road and looks pretty good. Road we were on, Bienhem Road. It's probably the main road to get where we're going, but I guess when I made this road it was maybe it's a crossroad. All I know is it's a nice little road through the woods. We should be at the hotel in 55 minutes in Amsterdam. Belham. We've only done 150 kilometers since we filled up, but it's been hours because we're taking smaller back roads at lower speeds. So, I mean, I barely made a dent in my gas tank, as you can see. Cars. So we're going back to North Road. So this was a little slight detour off the main road that we were just on earlier. Which I'm glad I did it because it's a nice run. Zigzagging through the woods. Yeah, that's what I see on the map. It's a pass-through road. I believe that was the road we were just on. Yeah, we were on North Road. It says yield. Even this road is, I don't know if it was the main road we were on, but it's a different road, that's for sure. 90K. Just really nice twisty roads. I don't think I should go 90K because the boys behind can't keep up, I think. Even here, 90K is pushing it, especially with a heavy bag on my horse. I'm a little top heavy, so we'll keep it down at 70, 80. Beautiful, beautiful country here. Can you ask for any better roads? What a gorgeous route run this has been. The end of the day, the boys didn't make the curve. Blenheim. town of Blenheim, or Blenheim. It's pretty good. River Creek here to the right. We have had nothing but really, really nice roads since we got into New York. It's just super roads to ride on. At this old covered bridge. It's pretty much a tourist attraction. Can't beat this countryside. Just phenomenally spectacular. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Like here, look how nice this is. Fortunately, we're coming up behind a local yokel. Can't drive the speed limit, it looks like. Now, if it was me, I'd be gone blasting by the guy. I don't know, but it's a double lines. Suggestions. Oh, here's a passing zone, but Marcel is way behind, so that ain't gonna happen. Well, we are on Creek Drive. Turned it off at that construction zone, and it's really nice to have some nice little back roads through some Pennsylvania farmland. Not sure where we're going to get into New York, but eventually we will. We are less than 3 hours from the Super 8 motel we're going to stay at for our last night on our trip, Friday night. Always seems to go so fast when you're on vacation. Work drags on, and you get your vacation, and bing bang boom, it's here. Your trips are gone. But some really, really nice views, tranquility, peaceful. Some nice places here. Birch Creek Farm shoe horses. Must be some money making shoe horses for shoe horses. Sport horses, not shoe horses, excuse me. So obviously there's money in breeding sport horses for sure. Excellent roads. And now we're on some fresh asphalt. Look at that. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. What more can you want? Beautiful scenery, new asphalt, and some nice twisty roads. I'm with some guys on Harleys. I can't take them at half speed, but I'm not going to go fast here anyways. Limit's 40. I'll do 70 kph. Slightly over the 64 miles an hour, or kph for 40 miles an hour. Well, that's going to take them a while with that more. The guy's got his own putting green here. Unless it is a golf course. Looks like it's a golf course. Wow, out in the middle of nowhere there's a golf course. Coming up to another stop sign. Who's got to stop? Us? Them? I guess this is the end of my route when I was just pulling things through little zigzag roads. So we're on this for 14 kilometers. I guess that's why it's going to be 3 hours to get there if I got all the roads programmed like this, but this is going to be stupendous. If the roads are ours and they're like this, I'm in heaven. Oh, it's a maple syrup farm as well. Look at the countryside. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, maple syrup farm. You got the stop sign there, but you can't see anything until you come out into the road. Looks clear. Love this Quick Shift Pro. Well, I don't know if I'll have enough battery power. I definitely have the memory, but I'll film this as long as I can because this is nice. It's like a peach apple farm. This definitely beats the interstate in the heat. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's surprising that people live out here. Well, I guess everybody's got their own plots. This guy's set up, gorgeous house, big pool, nice property. The marshmallow farm. They're harvesting marshmallows. Bridge limited to 1 truck. Doesn't say how big the trucks. Just says 1 truck, no weight. Still 27 degrees Celsius outside, but it's not bad being in the trees since we're not in direct sun. Look at this view. Absolutely a spectacular view here. I guess the big thing you gotta watch for the farmers, because on a road like this they probably don't expect much traffic. Called Crosstown Highway we're on. I made this map back in January and I have no idea what the roads were like. I was just pulling through base camp, the lines, to get us where we were going, to bypass highways and interstates. I didn't realize these roads were so pristine like this. This is super. So it's a joy. It's not about getting to your destination, it's the trip there. It's old house, old barn. Oh, there's some traffic finally. There's a nice, that's a big house, wow. A lot of rooms there. Yeah, it's a good thing we gassed up back at the Exxon, because you definitely don't want to stall out here due to lack of gas, because you're in the middle of nowhere. If you'd be lucky, a farmer would give you a hand. Some blue lines here in the woods, so obviously there's a maple syrup farm at one point. Definitely the locals are going a little quicker. Locals know their roads, so they usually fly through them quicker, just like us back home. But I don't know what's around this blind corner until you get to the top. And then it drops right, and then you come down again. Look at this view. Oh my, my, my. Look at this view. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. You see the entire valley and range in front of you. Now I see why people build hill. Horses. Well, looks like someone going to build there. They put a road, culvert. Maybe access the field. Apparently that's the way to zip around. It's on four-wheeler. So anybody out there in the Pennsylvania, lower New York area, you want a nice ride? Crosstown Highway. Excellent road. You are definitely going to enjoy the sights, the road, the curves a bit. Clouds, spectacular. I guess that car is gone. She's buried in the grass. I guess this is going to be a long video, but all my segments is going to be definitely over an hour, so dead bird. Now there's a weight limit, 10 tons. There was nothing for the bridge, but the road is 10 tons. Cattle farms. All this wood set for the winter. That reminds me, I'm going to have to order my wood for the winter. We're in August. Probably by a cord. Look at the sky, the contrast, the fields. I mean, you cannot ask for a more gorgeous view. Absolutely spectacular. Look at this. Look at the views. Open farm field into forests. So many contrasts. Wonder how it is to navigate here in the wintertime. You definitely need something four-wheel off-road. Now it's temperatures dropped again a couple of degrees. It's nice and cool in here in the wooded area. Just amazing. For all I know, we're in New York. Old cemetery. Or a new cemetery, old and new. Well, this was definitely well worth, especially towards the end of the trip. And that takes care of that.
That's nice.
Like that road?
Bro.
Yeah. I get,
I'm mowing that.
yeah,
Just been mowing 12 acres.
yeah, with that little mower, yeah. Going this way. Well, that's the end of that. We're back on a Hancock Highway. So a little more speed, still nice road, still in the wooded lot. It's 56 kilometers an hour, or 35 miles an hour, but I don't think anybody's doing that speed here. Still, this is a very nice road. Well, I'm not quite sure where we are at town. There's a place, Guns and Ammo, and some other places. We're up to 89 miles an hour. Wow, that temperature really dropped down to 24 from 29 earlier, so this is perfect riding weather now. Can't complain. Still some great views here. Hancock Highway still. Okay. Definitely the lumber industry up here. Well, as pleasant as all this would be, I don't want to have a 4-hour video, so I'm going to probably shut the camera off right after this curve. Because I could record this probably right to the hotel in Amsterdam, New York. And I really don't have another 2.5 hours of battery on this cam, so I guess we'll leave it at that for now, and if something really nice comes up, I'll put it back on. But these are really nice curvy roads as well, so definitely the two roads I mentioned, definitely Hancock Highway. This is it. You cannot ask for better. Well, we're quite a ways up now. We're in New York State on Byham Hill Road, heading north. Freshly paved highway. Well, probably last year or the year before, but overall, yeah, it's a great road. And we're into the hills of New York State. Just knolls and knolls and knolls of hills everywhere. Figured to turn it on and give you guys a view of some of these knolly hills. Traffic has been very light, which is great. We don't have to deal with cars. We've got the cruise set at 90 kph, which is 55. Although I guess we're catching up to some people. Problem is, it seems to be a double line, no passing. I mean, this is the limit, 89, 89. That's what my GPS is saying. There's a guy blowing on grass onto the road, the twit. So here we have the hills. we should be pulling in about an hour and a half. So it's really not spectacular, but it's not too bad. So we'll leave it at this for now. I had to turn it on and get a look at this. It's pretty cool. Just caught it. There's some, it's almost like the Catskill Mountains or something like that. Not sure what the hell I did to the remote, but we're not sure. Gonna be making a turn up here. We're about 35 minutes out. I think I unpaired my remote or something to that effect. All kinds of different landscapes. Well, we're in Amsterdam. We just logged into our Super 8 hotel, and we're going to go to a barbecue joint. Not sure where it's taking us, but that's where we're headed. Just at the end of this road. So it's a short clip, not too far away. Hopefully it's alright, because you know what, there was a few restaurants and there's a toll road. It's on the other side of the toll road and I'm not paying a toll. To go to a restaurant. This is it. Ha! fuck, I don't know, downtown.